Welcome to Transition Tuesdays for this Tuesday, December 6, 2022. I am your host, Russ Williams. I'm so glad you could be here today. Transition Army, I know you could have been anywhere in this world today. But you decided to be here with me. And I appreciate that. And more importantly, I appreciate you. So welcome to Transition Tuesdays, my friends. On this kind of warm, kind of balmy day, 55, I think, degree weather day here. Kind of rainy here in New York City today, but hey, we'll take it for December 6th, I'll tell you. I tell you. So, ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, we have an action-packed show once again. But before we begin, I always like to state my intentions. And my intention is to give you the opportunity to laugh, smile, think, and engage in honest conversations about your life's transition. So that's what we do here on Transition Tuesdays. That's what we do here. So I want to shout out those who will be checking out the show. And speaking of that, we got Felicia checking in from The Rock. Wow. Hey, Felicia, welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Welcome. We just came off a celebration. We just had a recap show for Miss Felicia. And we talked about Sweet Candy Cafe. Man, if you guys don't get a chance to, man, take a listen to that interview that Heather B from the Heather B Live show on Sirius XM Radio had with Miss Felicia. And they talked about Sweet Candy Cafe, and oh my God, she's a big fan of it too. So again, Sweet Candy Cafe is celebrating 10 years in the business. That's a big deal. So we welcome you, Felicia. Welcome. Well, let's talk about, while we're here today, what we're going to talk about, a little transition. And we got a coach who's transitioning, making a transition from Jackson State to the University of Colorado, and that is Coach Deion Sanders. As in the annals, he's been called Coach Prime. So I'm going to call him Coach Prime. So Coach Prime, man, he is doing that. He is definitely doing that. As Felicia says, hey, yeah, check out sweetcandycafe.com. You can still order. You can still get your swag bag, okay, the Amex swag bag when you purchase $40 or more. Get it. Get the swag. Make the transition. Go to sweetcandycafe.com after the show, obviously. But again, we'll go there and shop for your confectionery goods. Make sure you do that. So, Coach Prime. All right. Man, again, this is, it's a lot of controversy going on with Deion, Coach Prime going on to University of Colorado. Black Twitter is calling Coach Prime a sellout. There was one Twitter feed that I want to read to you guys and tell me if you agree on this, and I'll be able to comment on it. One person says, if the destination was Florida State, that's the university that Deion Sanders graduated from, or another top echelon team, I get it. But Colorado, that cheapens what Deion Sanders built at Jackson State and sends a message that a bad football program at a white college is better than the best HBCU. This ain't it, Prime. This is what this person says. Do you agree with that? Do you think that Coach Prime is a sellout? Yeah, that's strong words. To take the job at a Power 5 conference school, which is the University of Colorado. And I might add that this year the University of Colorado went 1-11, 1 win, 11 losses. Do you think Deion is selling out? I don't know. We're gonna dive deep. We're gonna pull back the curtain on that one, okay? But I just want to state some facts about Deion, some fun facts about Deion Sanders at his tenure at Jackson State, in which he's gonna be allowed to coach at the bowl game. So he's gonna try to go, undefeated in the preseason, the season, regular season, swag season, and during the bowl game. So, fun facts or facts about Coach Prime. He is a 2-time swag champion at Jackson State. Okay, coached them there. He was there for 3 years. Okay. He had an undefeated season this year. Okay. He delivered a large spotlight onto HBCUs. His presence, what they were doing at Jackson State, I mean, the celebrity presence was there from people from Snoop. I saw Rick Ross. I saw all these people there, man. He had that presence. He provided that celebrity recognition, that presence. That's what Coach Prime did there. ESPN's College Game Day that appears on Saturdays, they were on the campus of Jackson State. They have never been on the campus of an HBCU before Deion Sanders came up and came there. Okay, that's never happened before out of all the years at College Game Day on ESPN. It happened this year with Deion Sanders. As a matter of fact, Deion Sanders rolled in on one of those Harleys, I think it was. So Deion Sanders is responsible for that. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, is responsible for bumping up the economy in the state of Mississippi, one of the poorest states in the country. Deion Sanders was responsible for bumping that up. We got Gina joining us. What up, Sister Cuz? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Gina, I want to get your response on this too. Do you think that Coach Prime is a sellout? Because you're just joining us, and that's what we're talking about. Do you think Coach Prime is a sellout by going to a University of Colorado? We also got my guy Smooth from the Pick and Pop broadcast. He's always on ESPN. He's the voice of the men's and women's basketball teams at Manhattan College. The one and only Chris B. Williams, a.k.a. Uncle Smoothie, joins us today. What's going on, Smoothie? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays, my friend. And Felicia says, as an HBCU graduate, I agree with Deion's decisions. Deion's, and Felicia says, hashtag revenue and resources. Yes. Thank you, Felicia, because we're going to talk about revenue and we're going to talk about resources in a second. So now, thank you for bringing that to our attention here on Transition Tuesdays. Yep. But I want to know what you guys think, especially you, Gina, because I know your son plays college football. And what do you think about that? What's going on? What did Coach Prime, should he be labeled a sellout? I know you got some words for us to help us out in this. Okay? So, and again, like speaking of resources and money, like Felicia just said, revenue and resources, I want to talk about, and I'm not sure if everybody got a chance to see this, but Coach Prime was featured on a 60 minutes piece, not too long ago, less than a month ago. And I'll go over that contents for a second. Gina says, nah, but I'm not a fan of this movement. And before you ask, I'm not typing all this. I hear you, Gina. We get the message. We get it. We get the message. But again, you can go a little bit deep about the movement, on this movement. What kind of movement we're talking about? Maybe the movement from going from the HBCU to a Power 5 conference. Maybe that movement you're talking about. Just you can type in that little piece of it too. We got Keisha joining us from the D. What up, though? What up, cuz? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let me talk briefly about this piece on 60 Minutes. So it talked about how Jackson State lacked the resources. Thank you, Miss Felicia. The resources to compete against Power 5 conference schools is just a fact. They just don't have the resources, from the training facilities to everything. I mean, to the stadium help, all type of stuff. These resources that you need to build a big program. But Deion Sanders was dealing with what he had and making it happen, especially making it happen this year. And I distinctly heard the reporter ask Deion. He said, hold on first. He said this. He said, now schools are going to be coming at you, Coach Prime. Will you listen to any of the offers that will be presented towards you? And Deion said yes. He didn't hesitate. Yes, I'll listen to the offers. Matter of fact, he said, I will be a fool if I didn't. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we gotta understand this. Deion Sanders was a star player. Okay? Deion Sanders is a star. This prime time, this is a persona, but he is prime time. That's what he does. So much so, I remember when Deion played for, I believe it was the Cowboys at the time, and they had training camp. And, everybody, they come into training camp and they come in with this and that and the third. But I remember Deion Sanders came to training camp in a Mercedes-Benz golf course, okay, golf cart. And the reporter asked him, what is this, Deion? You come into training, training facilities with this, with a Mercedes-Benz emblem on your golf cart? And Deion clearly said, listen, I'm a star. What else am I going to show up in? I'm a star. Okay? Same mentality Deion had as a player is the same mentality as he has as a coach. And he told everybody he's going to entertain offers. He told everybody that. So it shouldn't be surprised that he took a great offer. Because it looks like Deion Sanders was making only, and I'm going to say only, okay, in retrospect, only $500,000 a year to coach at Jackson State. Where right now at the University of Colorado, they're going to be paying him millions per year. Millions. He's going to have the state-of-the-art facilities. I'm not sure if you saw that video about when Deion just first landed there and he went to the talking area where he's going to, meet the coach, meet the players and everything like that. The facilities, the resources are there for Coach Prime. They all are there for him. So it gets back to that revenue and resources that Miss Felicia just mentioned. It is all there at the University of Colorado. And don't get it twisted also, Transition Army. Deion Sanders, again, he graduated from Florida State. Now, I think that's going to be the final destination for Deion Sanders. So he'll be at University of Colorado for X amount of years, but I think the final destination is Florida State. So do you call him a sellout again because he's going from that school to the school that he graduated from and wants to be a coach at his alma mater? I don't think so. I don't think you call it that. I definitely don't think you can call it that. Now, let me just read a couple of comments. Felicia says, let me just read this. Welcome back, Chris. Hashtag Ireland. That's right, Smooth Man. Welcome back from Ireland, brother. Man, oh man, top of the morning to you. Gina says, let me just read this, make sure I'm reading this correctly. I've seen 3 kids. Hold on one second. I sent 3 kids to PWI. I went to a HBCU. My brother went to State College. Go where, sorry about that 1 second. Go where you're wanted and can stay to graduate. That's rule number 1. His employment. That's Deion's, hold on 1 second. That's Deion's business. I'm nosy and want to know where his kids continue their education. Oh, that's going to be easy there. That's easy, Gina. They are transferring to the University of Colorado. And his son, who is the star quarterback at Jackson State, he is transferring. And matter of fact, him and the other players, they are transferring to University of Colorado too. And I'm going to go on a little story about what went on, what he told the current players at the University of Colorado. We got my man, author Quashawn Davis joined. What's going on, sir? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. I'm a big fan of your work, sir. And let me just read what you just posted, which is great, too. I'm glad. He says, I don't blame him for going. I'm just disappointed that the HBCUs go back to the afterthought. And who would the afterthought be there, Quashawn? Who would that be? You mean like they're going to decide on another coach? Because they're going to get another coach there. Maybe not to the magnitude of Deion, but, people got to support their families. People got to, make moves, I guess. And I think that's what Deion did, clearly. But here's what Deion Sanders did when he, when he touched on the campus of the University of Colorado. Deion Sanders had, now again, this is Coach Prime, all right? This is Coach Prime now. And Coach Prime is just being Coach Prime. So, if you've been following Coach Prime this whole year, everything is documented through cameras and everything, that's what Coach does, all right? And it's to be known that. But, and I want to just mention something that I don't agree on, okay? I'm going to touch on this. I really don't agree on, the tact on this. But again, who's to say these players probably were told this before they were on camera. But we clearly see Deion, Coach Sanders, Coach Prime talking to the players, the current players at the University of Colorado. And he says, listen, I'm coming. And when I'm coming, I'm bringing my players with me. So those who are here, if you don't want to be a part of it, put your name in the portal because I'm bringing my people. That was clearly evident. Now, I don't agree with the tack that Deion did that with. That wasn't cool. But again, who's to say? Maybe these players were notified about this, what he was going to do before he did it. But I think the actual and the better thing to do would definitely have been behind closed doors, talking to each player and talking about, hey, look, maybe your services are needed, and that's the reason why he's here because they weren't a good team. That's the reason why he's there. And then that will be a good time to tell them, hey, look, I'm bringing my people, put your name in the transfer portal. You shouldn't have put that on blast out there in the media. But again, we don't know what was told, but it could have been an old, in Coach Prime fashion, the flamboyance of it all, that gives you, that highlights, what he's doing or what he's about to do by having it on camera. So it could have went down like that. Gina says, and there it goes. I heard his speech. I ain't mad at him. There you go. That's right. Yep. That was the speech. He told the players, I'm bringing in my people, put your name in the transfer portal. I had some experience with that, as a basketball player when I was at Manhattan because I came in with another regime and, Coach Lapis came in and he had his people, and, he's bringing in his recruits, But back then they didn't have a transfer portal. But if they did, I probably would have transferred. But I didn't. And I stuck it out, and then the rest was history. But if a transfer portal was there at that time, I'm sure I would have took a full advantage of that and transferred out of Manhattan College because it was clearly evident that Coach Lapis, and I don't fault him one bit, he was bringing in his players, starting with that, that 93 class, that changed the game at Manhattan College. He was bringing in his players to, bring the program to higher heights. And anybody else who wasn't on board, you can transfer. And we had a number of players who did just that. They transferred out because of that. Because these players was coming. Okay, there was a new sheriff in town. So I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. Gina also says, HBCU graduates focus on the wrong thing. My HBCU, one of my boy, offered, $5,000? The rest on me. PWI offered $70,000. The rest on me. My mama didn't raise no food. Wow. So that goes on now. They offering dollar amounts there? So they don't do that under the table anymore, huh? Huh, cuz, man, sister cuz, that's how they doing it now. Hey, sometimes you gotta go to the highest bidder, Yep, your mama didn't raise no food, My godmother didn't, nope. And that was my godmother, no doubt about that. So no, it's, it's all about the finances of it and about playing time and what have you. So again, is Deion Sanders a sellout? I don't think so. But one thing I do know about selling out, what Deion Sanders is going to do, he's about to sell out that stadium in the University of Colorado, and he's about to sell out the stadiums in which he, goes to the visiting opponents on teams. He's going to sell out those stadiums, especially if they're going to win, especially if you win, because winning is the cure-all of everything. So Deion Sanders is going to do it. He's going to do it his way. He's going to bring his players, by starting with his son. So to answer that question for you, Gina, his son is going to transfer if he hasn't done so already. The players that they still have eligibility for this Jackson State team, they're going to transfer. I'm sure right after these bowl games, they're going to transfer over. And then they're going to, he's going to make the program his program and then start from there. But I think eventually, especially if Florida State fall on hard times, in these coming years or even next year or what have you, Deion Sanders he will land at Florida State. Selling out arenas. That's going to be his selling out. Arenas, home, and visiting. That's what Deion Sanders is going to do. Because Deion Sanders is that guy. Deion Sanders produced. Deion Sanders changed the culture at Jackson State, changed the perception of HBCUs by him doing the job, taking the job. You know, I've heard him say he was ordained to do that, to go do that. He got a calling from God to do that. This is Coach Prime saying that. So he had a mission accomplished. Everybody, you know, what do they say? If you can't be useless, if you can't be used, then you're useless. Deion took total advantage of everything. Okay, and you know he has the, you know, he has the heart of those kids. You know, he want to see them graduate. He want to see them get to the next level, because that's what he always says. I want to, you know, we coach them to get to the next level as men, and he's a leader of men. That's exactly what he is. So, again, if he's at the University of Colorado, highest bidder at the time probably, can't fault that man. Can't be saying he's sold out. Not at all. Not at all. So, Deion, I salute you, man. And I hope he does well. I hope he does well. I hope to see, you know, it's good when a black man does well like that, based on them circumstances. Now you're going to have the resources. Now you're going to have the revenues. Let's see if he can coach and get it done. And if he does, ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, and if he does, like I know he will, again, University of Colorado is just a pit stop. Florida State is where he's going to wind up eventually. That's just my take on it. But again, I don't agree what Deion did was putting the kids on Front Street, telling them to put your name in the transfer portal. That could have been handled much differently, you know, behind closed doors. You're talking to kids one-on-one. And I'm sure that probably took place either before or after. That conversation definitely took place for each individual who decided to stay on that team for the University of Colorado. I'm sure that happened. But again, in prime time form, that was done on camera, you know, to prove a point. That was definitely that. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me just read this also really quick. So, Gina also says, Deion doing exactly what was expected. At least in my eyes, let him and his padded shoes be great. You'll just make sure you cop this gear with my guys, NIL. That's right. Yes. Please share that link. Absolutely. We're gonna definitely do that. I'm a big component of the NIL. Man, I wish that was going on when I was a player at Manhattan College. Oh my God. I would probably try to rack up on the sponsorship. I'm just trying to think. I would have had Broadway Joe's, the pizza parlor down there, probably the Pinewood, everything there, Burger King over there. I would have probably had some old NIL affiliation. So yeah, Sister Cuz, make sure you know, when you can, send us that link, man, so we can all promote that for your son. No doubt about it. That's what we do here. We support each other. No doubt about that, man. So ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, if we were able to make you laugh, smile, and think during this broadcast, my good friends, you have accomplished something major today. So celebrate your victory. Celebrate your victory. Please do that. As I get my theme music together. Well, before I do that, I want to give you guys applause. Let me give you guys applause for joining us each and every Tuesday here on Transition Tuesdays. I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I applaud you and I salute you as always. As always. Here's the theme music. Here we go. That's right. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God. Let's see. Before we head on out, Gina smiles. And Felicia says, engaging conversation this evening. Russ, I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Felicia. Thank you so much. So again, guys, I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for you watching Transition Tuesdays. Thank you so much. You can catch this show and our past shows on our YouTube channel, Transition Tuesdays. Okay, go check it out. Make sure you like and subscribe before you leave the channel. I would appreciate you do that. You can follow me if you haven't been doing so already on Instagram at Russ Will Transitions. That's Russ Will Transitions with an S. So you can follow me and I'll definitely follow you back. And also, I want to shout out once again to our sponsor, Sweet Candy Cafe, located in downtown Lumberton, North Carolina. It's the home of Southern Sweetness. They just celebrated their 10-year anniversary of business there It was a big blowout blitz. You heard Miss Felicia talk about it. We had her come on the show. You can still order, ladies and gentlemen. I know if you missed the celebration, that's okay, but you can still order. Head to sweetcandycafe.com for your confectionery goodies, and also take advantage of that swag, that Amex swag. If you purchase $40 or more, you get the Amex swag bag along with other items in there too. Buy while supplies last, ladies and gentlemen, so jump on that, okay? Again, that's at sweetcandycafe.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, as we say in parting, happy transitioning, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care, everybody. God bless.